No.
Because I sent you. Oh no, I have to look it now. Because I posted on stories your video, and it was 6 p.m.
Okay.
I was afraid I was wrong. How many time zones are in Australia?
So what was that?
How many time zones are there in Australia?
Oh, I think there's like one or two. The only difference is like the northern part of Australia. There's like a 1 hour time difference during summer.
Oh,
We
I
have like
see.
daylight savings. I
Oh,
don't
they
know if
like.
you've heard.
I see. Hey, we do that. We do have
You
that.
do that too? Yeah. So we
Daylight.
just have that.
Yeah, like our country is quite big. Actually, it's quite similar to Australia. It has similar ecosystems, similar size, similar population size as well. How many people are there in Australia? You know,
How
on
many
average?
people? Really good question. I think we have 26 million. Not that much, many people.
26 only?
Yeah, not that many. To us, we feel like it's a lot, but compared to everywhere else, it's like nothing.
The whole country? Wow. Wait,
Yeah, the whole country.
we need to
They have
populate.
more kangaroos. More
Yeah.
kangaroos. People, I saw something like this on Google once.
It's probably
25
more
million.
kangaroos than people.
Wow. Like Brazil has 250, I don't know, million
Okay, wow.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, we are a lot of people.
Like
Yeah, I was in Sao Paulo this year as well. And I was shocked. There was so many people, so many buildings. I was like, wow, this is the biggest city I've ever been to.
which city?
Sao Paulo.
Oh, where have you been? When were you here?
When? So I was there from September to April. September last year to April. And then I came home because of the coronavirus. But I was planning to stay there until January next year.
Oh, too bad. So are you coming back next year?
I want to, yes.
do so.
Best food in Brazil.
Pardon me?
Your food in Brazil is really good.
The food? Yeah, I see. I know. Yeah, they say that like Australia has their own culture by now, of course, but it's been colonized by Britain at first, and they say that British food is quite tasteless. Do you think Australian food is tasteless to you?
You know what? I think that makes sense because basically, like, Australian food is everyone else's food from other countries. So, yeah, I think that makes sense.
So you
I
mean
don't
like
know.
you mean
Like,
Australia
I don't
gets
really know what
other countries?
Australian food is. Yeah.
You don't think there's like a traditional Australian cuisine?
I think like maybe pies, meat pies.
I see.
Meat pies, if anyone's had one of those.
Vegemite only. Like
Yeah, Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Vegemite. Have you tried Vegemite?
I have to show that to Annie and Danilo real quick.
I tried.
I tried it too on a toast. It was terrible. Why do you
I
eat
didn't
that?
like.
What is it?
Yeah, and my English teacher gave me with a lot of butter. She said like, when it's your first time, you have to try with a lot of butter.
Wait, let me do this first. Brazil is only 10% larger than Australia. So like
Wow.
Australia is 7 million square kilometers, and Brazil is 8 million, and
Wow.
so 10% larger, and the population is so much larger too. And Vegemite.
Look how delicious that looks.
So Vegemite is a thick, dark brown Australian food spread made from leftover brewers, yeast, extra with various vegetable and spice additives. It was developed by Cyril Callister in Melbourne, Victoria, 1922. Weird. It's like
Look, it doesn't.
bitter Nutella. Like, don't try it. Like,
Don't listen to them. It's delicious. You have to make it just right, and then it's really good.
I mean,
But too much.
dosage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how my English teacher told me in Australia. She told me you should put a lot of butter and just a little bit Vegemite on the top.
Mhm. Just like in a
Yeah.
like pepper, right? Like just
Yeah, just it.
Little sprinkles.
And how about Lamington? Is it from Australia?
Oh,
The
yeah, Lamingtons.
Leamington. What's that?
Oh, that's so good. It's like a sponge cake that's like been rolled in chocolate and coconut sprinkles.
A sponge cake. Wait, let me.
yeah, it is good.
Mm.
I like it. Lamington, I like it with a coffee. It's really good.
Let's see it.
Yeah, it's a drink. It's nice.
Lamington. Wow, looks delicious.
That seems good.
Wow. I
It's
wanna know.
really nice. Did you ever have pavlova as well?
Pavlova. I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
Spell that.
What is it?
I think I didn't hear about this one. I haven't heard.
How do you spell that? Can you write it for us?
We have it at Christmas all the time. It's very Christmassy food.
How do you spell that, Kayla?
Pavola.
A-L. Wait. Pavala.
Oh, sorry. Pavola.
Pav.
Pavlova.
Pavl. Like this?
Oh, close. P-A-V, then L-O-V-A.
Lova. Okay, Pavlova. Is that Russian? It's not Russian.
Pavlova.
I don't know why it's called that, but apparently it's Australian or New Zealand.
It sounds Russian.
Yeah.
It does.
Kayla Pavlova. Like she's really Russian ballerina. Look at that. It looks delicious.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right.
God.
Wow. It's like a nest.
Oh,
Yes.
I think I have seen, but I didn't try. I haven't tried. I think I saw in the cake shops.
Like a
Mm,
whipped milk, whipped cream or something.
yeah. If you ever go back, you need to try a slice of pavlova. It's yum.
Must be good.
I think it's good.
And what did you try when you came to Brazil? What did you like?
I actually really liked feijoada, and
The best.
it's very good. And I actually liked eating a arroz feijão like every day.
Nice.
Really good.
Perfect.
we call it
Perfect.
feijão com arroz. Like,
Yeah,
it's the right sequence in the way.
yeah. I also loved guaraná. Yummy. It's so good.
Guaraná.
I tried, yeah, guaraná. I tried to find it in Australia, and it was very hard.
Oh, I know a
don't-
place where they sell in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I'll write it. I'll write
Let
for
me-
you later.
I have a guy. I can hook you up.
It's a cafe. It's a Brazilian cafe. I think you're gonna like the place, and you're gonna find some stuff from Brazil in there. They sell.
Yeah. Love it. I also love caixinhas.
Pushing.
There's a good snack.
And brigadeiro too. I like it.
Oh, brigadeiro. I love doce de leche, like with anything. Any dessert that has doce de leche, I'm like, yep, I'll have it.
Almost.
It's so good.
So
Near
sweet.
where I live, there was this person on the street, and she would sell churros, like churros, I think you
Churros.
say. Churros, like doce de leche inside of it for like dois reais. And so I was like, look, I have to get one every time I pass.
Wow.
It was so nice.
They are
Anyway,
delicious.
I love doce de leche.
I was trying to avoid sweet. Actually, tomorrow is my day to have sweets, so we can build up
Ooh.
my anticipation to have sweets tomorrow.
Yeah, I also really liked, I forgot the name of it, but you know how people they sell cake like on the street, like just different kinds of cakes, usually in the morning. There was like a cake that was made of like a Brazilian
Tapioca cake,
vegetable, maybe tapioca cake, maybe.
like
They
they
usually
have
sell.
grains, it's like grainy, and then it's soft inside and sticky.
Yes, I think it was that. I really
Yep.
liked that.
Yeah, it's really good. Mainly when it's like
Mm.
just out of the oven, like, and it's really crunchy outside and sticky and smushy in the inside.
Do you think Brazil had a lot of sweet food? I was surprised. A lot of the food's really sweet. Like you have like your beans and rice and then really sweet food. So yeah, I think I put on a bit of weight when I was in Brazil.
You gain weight.
Yeah, I did. From eating the food.
It's hard to keep your weight down here. It's
How do you all do it?
latest thing. And
Wait,
and it's cheap
so
too.
where's it? Yeah, it is cheap. So where's everyone from? Like Annie, Danilo?
Introduce yourselves,
Yes,
Annie.
everyone.
Yeah. Actually, I am from Maranhão, which is the same state of which Vanessa is now, but I'm living in Campinas, São Paulo.
Oh, Campinas. Cool.
Yeah.
Danilo, what about you?
Oh, I'm living in São Luís, this in the capital of Maranhão, the same city of Vanessa.
Yeah.
We're here.
So we are all from São Luís, Kayla.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
But
now
not everyone is in São Luís right now.
I'm not from São Luís, but
Vanessa
I'm
from
live
São
here.
You know, Vanessa, I still there. Annie is in Campinas. I am in Curitiba in the south. And she's in the south.
Wow.
We are spreading
Wow.
We are kilometers and kilometers from each other.
hardly.
Oh.
Gustavo is my neighbor.
Oh.
Kind of
So
neighbor.
sad.
a state neighbor. And you live in Melbourne, right, Kayla?
Well, I actually live in Sydney.
I live in Sydney. You are from Melbourne.
And I grew up in Tasmania, so I'm kind of from both those places. Have you heard of Tasmania before?
We have in cartoons. Like,
Yeah.
there's
But I'm just working in Melbourne right now as a missionary. So
oh, you're
I
missionary.
finished in January. So soon.
Oh, you finish in January. And then where are you gonna move to?
So I'll probably go back to Sydney and finish my degree because I only had one semester left of my undergrad. So that was in psychology. So I'll probably finish that. And then who knows? I haven't figured out the rest.
I see. You're studying psychology, nice. Let me ask you this, something about terminology and vocabulary, because things like these academic systems are different. We sometimes struggle in finding the best terms when speaking English. So what do you study after the undergrad course?
So you do like a year of honors where you do like a thesis.
Honors?
And you do that for 1 year, and then you do masters for 2 years. And that includes like 1 year of like full-time like study and then 1 year of like internship.
Wait. So honors is like these 2 years in which you write a thesis at the end. And that makes you what?
A clinical psychologist.
A clinical psychologist. So just by graduating, you cannot actually perform as a professional.
No. No, they make it really hard. So you have to do your honours for a year, and then you can kind of, after that, you can kind of work in psychology, but you're not like a certified psychologist. You have to do your master's, which is an extra 2 years after that to be a certified clinical psychologist.
Become a coach, it's easier. Kidding. Like,
Oh.
wait. So in these honors, do you get any kind of like specialty? Do you choose something, or is it just like continuation?
Yeah, honors, you don't specialize. It's just still all general. But I guess you get to choose what you do your thesis on. So you could choose something you're more interested in, but you can choose anything from all the psychologies. So there's lots of different options. And then after that, in your master's, I think you can, choose subjects that are more related to what you want to do, what kind of psychologist you want to be.
I see.
Yeah.
This is.
So I want to be. Sorry.
So this is when you specialize.
Yeah.
Because here in Brazil, we have this thing that's very common that we call especialização, which is a kind of course that you take after you graduate. You can either go to public institutions or private institutions to take those courses. They usually take 2 years, and then you become a specialist. And that's a degree that's under a master. Is there such thing for you, like to become a specialist?
Specialist. I think like it's kind of like that if you do your honors. So if you do your 3-year undergrad, then your 1-year honors, then you're like, you can be like a counselor, you can be like a support worker, you can be like that kind of thing. Yeah.
I see.
Maybe a specialist. Not sure if it's called that.
You don't choose any specific area, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. Because here in Brazil, you can even change careers by doing these specialization courses. So like, let's say you are an engineer and you take a specialization in psychology. I'm not sure about psychology, but let's say English. And then you can become a teacher and a professor now, even without a master's. You can teach at you can teach other people who are in the undergraduate level.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And they only
Well,
take.
sounds like
Pardon me?
it sounds like you get more options, like it's a bit more flexible.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So I always struggle to find a name for this, because it's not very common in other countries, I believe. An American friend told me the term graduate course. Does this mean anything to you?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like a postgrad kind of thing that you do, right?
Yes. Postgrad.
Yeah. Yeah, you could call it graduate course. Although in Australia, we don't really call it graduate course. I think it's like more of an American term.
What do you call it?
I think we just call it like a postgrad. It's like, postgrad. Usually postgrad is when you specialize in what you want to do. So like if you've done a degree in anything, basically, like an undergraduate degree, you can basically apply for any postgrad degree. So you can kind of change what you want to do. It'll only be like an extra year or an extra year and a half to like change, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I believe that's exactly it. You change your careers by taking 1.5 to 2 years of postgrad. And I believe that's the best term because it's kind of more general. It's not only American, and it's similar to how we call it, because we call it pós-graduação, which is very similar to graduation.
Thank you, Kayla. I was very confused about this name because I always check scholarships in Australia and I always see like postgrad. And once I was talking to a friend of mine and he was telling, no, it doesn't exist in English, postgrad. They just call graduated like course, like when you're done with your undergraduate course. And I was like, oh, but I have seen postgrad. What is postgrad? I see in Australia. Is it a different thing? And I was wondering that. And now it's clarifying everything in my mind.
Yeah. And when it comes to these academical terms and levels, like every country varies, so it depends on the country.
Yeah, it changes.
And also,
I don't,
there's no such thing of it doesn't exist in English, because if you say it in English, now it exists.
exactly. You can make it exist. Wait, so how does everyone know English so well?
Pardon me?
How does everyone know how to speak English so well? I know Vanessa, you learned it before you came to Brazil. I mean, to Australia, or did you learn it in Australia?
No, I learned it in Australia. I was a disaster before going to Australia. I arrived in Melbourne, like people were trying to talk to me, and I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, I was like, don't talk to me, no English.
Yeah,
Uh,
I understand how that feels.
yeah, you lived that in Portuguese, right?
Yeah, I remember when I first got off the plane, I was like, because I'd started learning 6 weeks before coming. So I'm like, yeah, I know how to have like a basic conversation. And then I got off the plane and I saw someone, I was like, oi, to the bank. And then they replied to me and I was like, I understand nothing. I was like, get mom. And then I was like really sad.
No.
I was just like, okay. But yeah, I understand that.
I'm an English teacher, so I've been practicing for a long time. So I started studying when I was 16, and then I started like learning other languages as well. Annie, and then what's your history with English? I didn't know that actually. Annie, did you start learning with me? Because I was a teacher back in 2006.
Yeah. Actually, I take English in the high school, but I didn't know anything at the time. So I started with you at UFMA. I think I don't remember the year.
2016,
2016.
I believe.
And
Yes,
yeah,
or 15.
and yeah, I was stuck I am stuck actually in the intermediate level, but now I can communicate, and I think I'm get better in that.
I see. And I feel like the Gothic Club is supposed to have people practice and save them from the intermediate level, no? Because if you fall into a plateau, so we bring people here from different countries and different accents, so they can get get forced to speak more, like, and challenge themselves.
It's a
What about
really
you?
good idea.
What about me?
Yes.
I have some problems with English. I tried to learn English with, I think with 13 years,
Yes.
and I make an English course, and I make for 2 years, I think. Then I learned nothing. That but
You
I
never
I
learned.
play. I didn't learn nothing. I'm with 16 years, and I I play a lot of games. I know how to read. I read. I I really know how to read in English, but I don't know that time. I don't know how to speak and listen to English because I play a lot of games, and then I'm capable of read things in English, but I don't know how to express myself. Then when I enter in the university, I make computer engineering. Then all the time my teacher sent to me articles in English, entirely English, not almost nothing Portuguese. Then I think, okay, I'm gonna give in it, but I didn't learn by the normal way, like in school, learning how sentence work. I just started to push him in English. Like I started to, then I'm reading a lot in university. I decided, okay, I'm gonna watch TV movies in English. I started to do other things in English and just like entering myself, and I'm learning this way until now. I didn't make a clear path, like I started to study grammar and this kind of things. I don't know nothing about it at all. Then I
Stop
studied.
saying that. You do know. You're
I
making
study
well
in this
constructed
way.
sentences and you're making sense of what you say. So you do speak English in good English.
Yes, but was in a way that I'm started to listen, for example, podcasts in English. Then I started to repeat what they're talking in some way because I listen so much time, and I started to repeat the sentence. I started to when I'm entering the university, I study English with sentence, not with words. Because I'm reading sentence all the time. They are in context. I'm not reading. I'm not that kind of thing. Oh, I get a dictionary and then read. No, I always get phrases, and I'm in context. And sometimes I'm started to connect the words, and this was, I think, what makes me learn more English.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
English is hard to learn, apparently.
Pardon me. It's hard to learn.
Yeah.
What
Wait,
is
so
it?
why do you have a British accent?
Me?
Yeah.
I decided to. Like, I like it. Like, it's not my native language, so I decided to copy another country than from anyone else. Yeah. But
Usually everyone. Oh, sorry.
I fell in love with the British accent in 2010, when I started watching Friends, and there was this character called Emily, which was Ross's girlfriend. And then I saw that and I was like, wow, that's beautiful. But okay, never mind. And then I kept on getting in touch with other characters in other shows. And then I liked the way they sounded. And I said, okay, I want to sound like that.
Well, you've succeeded because you sound like you're from the UK.
Really? Wow, thank you.
You do. The British accent. Yeah. Everyone I meet who learns English, they have an American accent.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
Either Australian or British. American, that's another.
To be real, I like a lot of TV series in British English because it's challenging to me sometimes when they started to speak so fast, because I'm so used to American culture. Then I started to see something in British culture. Then they say something and I have to listen again and again. And I like so much. I think I watch it it's the Pink Blinders. I watched it and I liked it so much. The Pink Blinders, yes.
Peaky Blinders.
It's a great show.
What about the Australian accent? Do you think that's hard to understand or not?
No, I don't think so. At least not you.
I can understand you, but I have talked to other people from Australia in Alumar, which is a company that have engineers from Australia, and I didn't understand so much what they talk.
Okay, I believe you are keeping it down for us. Like,
yeah. Do you want me to be like full Aussie?
I think it depends.
Aussie up.
It depends in which part of Australia you're from, because if you are from a big city like Sydney or Melbourne, it's easier. But I remember I worked with a guy who was from countryside, I guess, and it was really hard to understand him. I was like, what are you saying? He was like really talking really fast, and he wasn't finishing the words.
Yeah.
It was something really funny.
Was finishing the words.
Yeah, it was something like he was cutting the words in the middle, and he was talking so open. Everything he was talking with it was so open. Like, are you fine? And something like very open. I don't know how to copy because I'm not good at copying accents. But at the beginning, it was really hard to understand him. And after I got used to it. I was often asking him, please.
Yeah.
Okay, do you do those things like saying to die instead of
today?
Today, yeah.
Today.
today.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, mate, or things like that. Everyone just, I don't know how to describe it, but we just get lazy with our words, I think. And then we just speak really fast and mush them together so no one can understand you. That's how we like to speak.
Any language
Yeah.
do that in Portuguese as well, all the time. Like if you speak to another Brazilian very quickly, like you're probably not gonna understand.
I noticed that in Portuguese, like with words like esta, you're like, oh, você está bem? It's like, está bem. You only see like the ta part. And at first I was like, what are you saying? But then I got used to it. Yeah.
It is the same here if you go to countryside.
Um,
I feel like it's the same as Australian people from countryside. You're not gonna understand someone from countryside in Brazil talking in Portuguese.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like men are harder to understand too. Like the Australian accent in boys,
Really? It's a
they can
hard.
be really Aussie sometimes, like super Aussie. Like they'll
Why?
speak, I don't know, really, really Aussie. I don't know why.
It's weird.
Yeah.
What do you think of this verb? Because like in English, you don't have the verb estar or anything
Mm.
like directly correlated to it. We have to be, which means both. Both
Mhm.
ser and estar in Portuguese. So how did you manage to understand this verb? Was it any hard, or was it like?
I think it's just confusing to understand when to use it. So with what things to use it for. So just like understanding that difference was kind of hard. Being like there's two different things for the same thing. But then I had to get over that pretty quickly because in Portuguese that happens a lot. There's like a million different ways of saying the same thing. But then if you say it in different ways, it means different things. So yeah, it's a bit of trial and error. I definitely would be mixing them up all the time when I first got here. So people were just like, okay. And I was just like, oh no, this isn't right. But yeah, I think just like learning the meanings and like when you use them, it just clicks after a while and just makes sense. So, but it took a while to adjust. But I guess, is that hard for everyone else to like change that to be just one thing? Like there's not two, like a star and Sarah, there's just to be. Is it hard to understand or is it easier?
For us to understand the verb to be.
Yeah.
Actually, the thing we studied the most at school.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
when we refer to English at high school, we always refer to it as studying the verb to be, because it's basically what they taught, like repeatedly, the verb to be, the verb to be. So we actually got that, I believe. Did you guys? Was that easy for you? Was that hard?
No,
I think so.
It
I
wasn't
don't
hard.
think so.
But Kayla, we actually didn't even get into our topic for today, which is
Which made the conversation was very interesting.
Yeah. When you are lost means that interesting.
yeah. And Vanessa, I was actually just listing down some of our guests who probably would like to practice their Portuguese, so we can talk to them and have them practice Portuguese with us later. But Kayla, the question is, what was the best invention of the last 50 years? So we can, can you have something in mind?
Well, I think this one's pretty obvious, but I think mobile phones, because the fact what we've been doing now, was not possible.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And there's just been so many options that have opened up because of the cell phone or the mobile phone. And even during this whole pandemic, the COVID-19, none of that, so many people would have been 10 times harder if we didn't have our mobile phones. So I think it's been a great invention.
Yeah.
It's probably what I think.
And I really I like to see the positive side of things, and the pandemic really taught people to get used to speaking online, because I myself had some kind of resistance to it. I didn't want to teach or talk to people online because, okay, I keep on failing and the connection is never good. Like someday it will be, I'll try in the future. But then I started doing consistently, and I was like, hey, that works. You know, like I feel like I'm talking to a person in person, and it really reduced the amount of resistance, like to call people sometimes. You know? Like before that, we were like, you're gonna call me? Like, who do you think you are? Like, send me a message. And now you're like, can I call you? Yeah, sure. Like, and we kind of got over that. We kind of evolved to distant communication.
I was definitely the same. Like, especially like before my mission, I was like, look, if you call me 3 times, I'm never going to answer, but send me a text and I'll respond. Like, I was just like not into phone calls at all. But then I guess like coming my mission as well, like we have, and like with the pandemic and everything, like that's the only way you could really do work. And so I was just saying, like, I had to like just like adjust and like tell myself I liked it. And now I do. Now, like, it's actually so much easier just to call someone and talk to them. So now I'm a fan.
It was like a new invention, you know, like, what if there was a way in which you could listen to the person's voice live? There is telephone.
Yeah.
Like, we reinvented it. And what do you think is the worst invention of the last 50 years? Wait, Annie, do you have a comment on that?
Yeah, no, imagine if we could doing these meetings with holograms. Holograms, that's
Yeah,
right?
it would be great to use hologram.
It will be awesome, isn't it?
Wow. That would be cool. Like you sit in a room and have chairs still, but everyone's like virtually in the chair.
Wow, well, imagine what the coffee club is going to be like, because we'd be able to have an actual table, you know. Each person buys each person buys a table, and then we can sit around the table like evil masters in a hologram.
Yeah, have our fake drinks on the table. Yeah.
a fake coffee, and then float and drink the fake coffee. And
good idea, Annie.
Yeah, great idea. Actually, Facebook is developing this virtual reality in which you can meet your friends. You can have your own avatar, and then you control stuff around you. You can change the environment. You can take pictures. You can take selfies within this virtual reality, and you can interact with objects. You can put stuff on your head. You can throw a party. You can go to Disney, and it's very nice. So soon we'll be able to do that.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
It's the biggest investment in Facebook now. They are investing a lot in it now.
Nice. And it's quite developed. Like there's this game, I believe it's Beat Master or something. Have you seen this game in which you control 2 lightsabers?
Yes.
To the rhythm of the song.
Yes.
Have you seen that, Kayla? Have you ever seen Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
Like the little pieces of arm, and then you have to press the right buttons. So it's a similar concept, but with VR glasses, and you control 2 things on your hands. And in this virtual reality, you control 2 lightsabers, and then towards you come some blocks, and they have arrows. So you have to hit these arrows with the lightsabers in the direction you're supposed to, and then you do like these crazy movements at the pace of the song. It's really, it must be really fun.
It's great. I saw some days ago a guy from a big channel, YouTube channel of Brazil about technology, and they broke a TV. They are in this VR thing, virtual reality thing, and the guy don't pay attention to the space and give a
Oh my God.
clean, how to say it, a punch in the TV. The TV was so broken. As
my
so.
gosh.
Let me see if I can show you how it works.
Was punching the TV.
Yes.
You
didn't pay attention to the space, you know, because you are really your movements are repeating the TV. Then he fighting in the game, and he decided to give a punch, and he's so next for the TV, and and it's the phone
Oh,
is so much expensive.
oh my gosh.
Let me see if
Yeah,
I
that
can
was crazy.
how it works. Real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh wow.
He's a Jedi.
Looks fun, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
I
love
also
watching this
like
video.
that game.
So much fun.
That looks crazy.
It's crazy how technology advanced a lot. I remember then when I get in here some years ago, and I'm from the countryside, and I watch a 3D movie. I'm so amazed by 3D movie in the theater, in the home theater, in the theater. It's theater.
Yes.
I'm in a theater and I watch 3D movie. I'm so impressed by. I remember that the last movie of Harry Potter, I'm trying to get the pieces of the Lord Voldemort.
The
You
pieces.
don't like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
like in the air.
In pieces, and it's a 3D movie, and I'm so shocked by it. And well, what's amazing?
Yeah, I got very shocked in the beginning too. Like the first time I used 3D, the first thing I saw in 3D was a trailer for a film in which like arraigns burgers, arraigns food. I don't remember the name in English. No, it's an animation, and then like
Yeah, I
the
know.
burgers roll into the screen and get very close to you, and I'm like, hey, I want to eat that. It's crazy. So, Annie, besides cell phones, in your opinion, what's the best invention of the last 50 years? It can be. It doesn't have to be so serious about it. It doesn't have to be the best invention for humanity. It can be something that's for you in your reality.
Okay.
You're a chemist, so maybe there's some new technology in chemistry that really helps in your research and that helps you do something you wouldn't be able to do a few years ago.
Let me see. We have a lot of equipment that we can see the material in a very small scale, and I think microscopy and electronic microscopy is one of the best inventions for us chemists, because we can see the surface of the material and understand the structure, and yeah, that's amazing.
What is it called?
Uh, it's kind of electronic microscopy, I think.
Electronic microscopy. So
Yeah.
like it's a microscope,
Yeah,
and you can see the particles from like zoomed in.
yeah,
Hundreds.
very small scale,
I see.
and yeah,
And how is it
we can see nanoparticles in there.
nanoparticles? I believe they are small. I don't know how small they are. Like they're
Yeah.
nanoparticles are like particles that are 1 nanometer big?
Yeah, 1 to 100. No, 1,000 nanometers.
Nanometers. And can you give us a scale? Like, what is this small? Like, just
Like
a dot, something?
I think a molecule has the scale of the small scale that that we know, and the nanoscale is after that. Is in between the microscopy thing like cells and microorganisms, and then we have the nanoscale.
I see. So a cell
In
is smaller than
between
1 nanometer.
between a molecule and a cell, we have this scale, nanometric scale.
So nano is bigger than micro,
Small than micro,
smaller than micro.
and yeah,
Okay. And is there anything smaller than that?
yeah, the atoms.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But I mean, they
Yeah.
are in a different scale?
No, in angstrom we called the
Angstrom. Yeah.
scale.
Well,
Yeah,
like it's a scale for very, very, very tiny things, right?
yeah. We
And I
cannot
believe that.
see with any instrument,
I see. If an atom is that small, I can only imagine the nucleus of an atom, because like it's way smaller than the atom itself, right? I've
Yeah.
seen the representation in a show called Cosmos, presented by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he shows a cathedral. He's in a huge cathedral somewhere, and then they show a small particle of dust floating in the air, and he says that the nucleus of the atom is that particle of dust compared to the cathedral as the atom. So it's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's very small because the atom is surrounded by a cloud of electrons, and the nucleus
Nucleus.
Yeah, the nucleus is in the middle of this cloud, and so it's so small.
I see. Crazy. Can you see an atom in a microscope?
Oh, I don't know, no. But there is the the Sirius, the I don't know how to say that in English. Particles accelerator, I think.
Yes. Particle accelerator.
Yeah. Yeah. So we could see some chemical bonds,
Chemical bonds.
Yeah.
So
but I think the atom we cannot see.
So it's more like a concept than a thing. Do you know anything about that, Danilo? You seem to be confirming.
Yes, we have a problem with atoms because if you look at the theories about atoms, some particles we don't know exactly where they are, It's something complicated. You know that they are in some range, but you don't know exactly where they are. For example, say, oh, we have in this specific range of place, we have electrons, but we don't know exactly. We can measure the exact place this electron are.
Yes.
And this is a complicated concept because how are you gonna see it? How are you gonna look at it? And it's like light, light, you have that problem. Light, when you're not looking,
yes,
behaving now.
Actually, right?
When you're looking to the light, they behave in another way.
Yeah.
And this is so complicated It's like I think it's called the photon wave. It's
Photon, yes.
it's a
Like
photon.
it's a particle of a light.
It's a particle of light sometimes when you're looking at it, but when you are not looking at it, it's like a waves, and this is so complicated.
This is what quantum computers use. Right? Like photons, they behave in this weird manner that they can either
Yes.
vibrate this way or this way, and then it vibrates only one of the ways when you look at it, and then you look look away, and then I don't understand this concept very well.
Can be two things at the same time. It's
Yes.
complicated because they can be, for example, in computing use 0 and 1 to represent the things, but they can be a 0 and 1 at the same time. This is the crazy thing, because we look at it to say it's impossible to something be two things at the same time, but in quantum physics this is possible, and we don't know yet why this happened, but it happens. And this makes so more fast because you can be 0, you can be 1, and you can be 0 and 1 at the same time with one particle, one atom. And this
it really increases the computational power, right? Because
yes,
so much more you can do.
Because if you use just a little set of particles, you can do a lot of math, and computing just math. It's a lot of math. Then it's like you can represent a lot of things with little space, Then it's basically it's it.
I see.
It's complicated.
It's almost like Schrodinger's cat.
Yes, Schrödinger's cat. He is alive and dead at the same time.
Oh, okay.
If you open the box, you'll know if he's died or if he's.
Can you explain to us the whole thing? What is Schrodinger's cat, Camilo?
You guys are too nerd for me.
I don't know so much about it to explain, because it's so complicated. I already watched a lot of videos about it. I have a lot of physics in my graduation. Then I know a little, but I didn't get in that level. It's a complicated concept.
I don't understand the mathematics behind it, but I know how to explain the kind of like the legal story.
Yes, I know how to try to explain.
That's right.
I think the basic explanation is that you have a radioactive, I think it's radioactive particle.
Radioactive.
A radioactive
particle
in the side of the cat, and in a box, and you close the box, and you can say that the cat is alive, you can say that the cat is died, but you don't know it until you open the cat. But you have million of possibilities, Then this is the basic of the
That's you open the cat.
No, don't open the cat, just a box.
A box with the cat inside it.
So it's basically this. Let me show you the way I know it. So you have a box, and in this box, it's one of the ways to explain, right? There's another particle, another part of this box, in which there is a radioactive and unstable particle, and then if it destabilizes, it kind of activates a piece of some venomous thing that will kill the cat. So imagine this is kind of a glass thing, and then if this unstable particle acts up in any way, and I don't know if it's going to do it or when it's going to do it, it activates this, and then there's a cat here, and then there's a smoke in the air, and the cat dies. But then you close the box, and since it's so unstable, and you don't know if this is going to act up and set up the trap, the venom in the air, the cat is theoretically both dead and alive at the same time because you cannot measure. But as soon as you open it, you know if they are dead or alive, you know?
Yes.
So this is similar, this is the basis for the quantum mechanics and quantum.
It's basically what you're gonna try to do in quantum computing. We don't know if that is a 0 or 1 or a 0 1, but we try to say, okay, now you're gonna be a 0. You just try to give the path to be that, but we don't know exactly what is in it, you know. It's so complicated.
Otto, are you stable? Or are you a radioactive particle that will kill the cat? They keep on flickering. Where are you?
Hey, Otto.
Otto,
Yeah,
you?
Otto.
Hello, everybody. It may be some delay on my video today because my internet is really, really bad today. I don't know what happened. I tried to connect to the Wi-Fi and was really bad. And then I turned to the 4G, is even bad. So today my internet is not working on my favor.
But why are you using the phone and not the computer?
My theory here is that something maybe messed with my computer. Something's wrong with my computer. So I tried to use my cell phone. But then I connected to the cell phone to the Wi-Fi, and I discovered that the problem is actually the Wi-Fi. And then I went back to the 4G, but it doesn't seem to be like working really well, I would say.
Now it's working better. I believe you're here now for good.
Yeah.
Hope you stay.
Yes. And I'm trying to reset my router from my computer right now.
I see. So this is Kayla.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello, Kayla. How's it going?
That is
Good.
quite Brazilian name, right? There are thousands of Kaylas in Brazil.
Yes. I was about to say that.
I have an aunt with this.
Meant to be.
Really?
No.
But usually we spell different. Like the pronunciation is the same, but we spell different. Like with E instead A.
Yes, exactly that.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah,
usually with double L. I don't know why people have names with double L.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't change how we pronounce it.
So,
is it pronounced Kayla or is it like Carla?
No, Kayla.
Oh, Kayla.
It's Kayla? Oh.
Yeah.
Look at that. Maybe you improve your Portuguese, you change your surname, there you go. You're Brazilian now.
Yeah.
Done.
Kayla Santos.
Well, I want to get better at Portuguese, so maybe that's a goal. Once I'm good, I can change my fake name to sound Brazilian.
Yeah. So Otto, I want to hear from you.
Something like Pereira.
Yeah, Kayla Pereira.
It will work really well.
Thanks for suggesting.
Otto. So you work in design, you were a designer, you are a creative director. Is there anything new in your field, like anything that changed in the last 50 years? I believe a lot has changed.
Yes.
That really helps your life and they would like to share.
Yes, there are two things. First of all, computers in itself evolved a lot in these last years, I would say. I remember when I started designing, when I started using Adobe software, I was using an Mac Mini, Mac Mini, and it was really, really slow. And then I started like upgrading till I got into a certain point in which computers in general are working really well, and then we can run any Adobe software without feeling any like problem with the slowness of the computer, I would say. And what we are seeing nowadays, mainly in my field, is our softwares to help us to design websites in which you finish designing and you can almost like put the same design on there, like if without the need of coding. So this is one trend that I have been seeing a lot lately, like softwares that we once used to design, being used to not only design but put this very website like live on the internet. And this movement, I would say, of like canceling developers or like making the designers yeah, making the designers like almost feel like they are developers is something that I have been paying attention very close because it helps a lot. Mainly because, you know, in our city, sometimes it's hard to find some developers to do some kind of work like designing a website or solving some infrastructure problems. So in my case, I would say that is the best that technology have been doing lately, because it's helping us a lot. So computers are getting faster and faster, and at the same time, we are seeing like these softwares that help us to put websites on there without needing to know any line of code, to write any line of code.
Yeah. And also it's been more popularized, right?
Yes. Sometimes the client comes to us with some websites like designing in tools, not the same tools we use, but almost there. And they're like, they do not look good, but they're functional. Like you could easily get a client from a form designing on a platform like that. For example, Wix, which is one of the most popular here in Brazil, and Squarespace, that's like known all around the world. Like everyone who listen to podcasts may have like somehow
Like
watch they sponsor every podcast in the podosphere. It's almost impossible to listen to a podcast without coming across the ads.
Yes, and also YouTube. So they do
Yeah.
a lot of YouTube. And
this group is sponsored by Squarespace, by the way.
So guys, by the way, the Coffee Club is sponsored by Squarespace. In Squarespace, we can do this. One day we can have a sponsor. And like there's these apps about Canva, for example, Canva.com. Do you know that, Keila?
Canva.
It's a place, like their main value proposition is design for non-designers. So it helps people who are not designers to design something. And then
I use it a lot.
Me too.
Me too. I have fun. I create things like without reason.
And then
people there to have fun, try to design something there.
Sorry, Otto?
Sorry, Otto, you frozen.
Okay, I said that Vanessa goes there just to have fun. She tries to design something and then she gets happy, and then that's
sometimes I'm doing because it's something that I'm gonna use, but sometimes it's to have fun. Sometimes I'm just like trying to look what I can do here. Can I create a card for myself? Can I create a signature?
Signature.
Really
and
yeah.
It looks really cool. I need to get onto this now. Look.
You're in.
I'll be like, I've been using Canva every day.
You can even design websites now there. Like, of course, it's not a professional website, but you can export a presentation in website mode, so you can browse it on the computer and mobile.
It's cool.
And actually, the Gopher Club's website is currently hosted and created on Canva. It's not the best, but we'll move to professional website soon.
No, it's really good.
Yeah, it is. Like,
Because it's very clear, very visual.
Yeah,
That's
it's
that's
functional.
important.
I'm thinking
like the way it looks, it's not just responsive, you know. It doesn't adapt to different devices. So I had to keep that in mind when I developed it, because I had to make it look good both in the computer and on mobile, even though it's not responsive. So you can check it out later.
I think this kind of apps is a good solution to simple problems, you know, like you don't need a developer because you don't need to make, for example, some people, I'm a developer, then I'm talking like people the most of the time don't like this kind of thing, say, oh, this is not good. I like this kind of thing because it's like, at first, people don't have the money to pay for a developer to make the thing. He can do it. He can do what they need because he can do by themselves. And when you solve a simple problem, you don't need a developer at all, you know. You know, development is a complicated thing. You need the entire system, that entire entrepreneur, and you know, entire thing. And it's not a simple thing. It's not. When it are simple things, you don't need a web page, and you enter that web page, and you are clicking the button and going to one web page to another. And just that you don't need a developer at all, you can do it. And I think this is amazing how things are becoming simple, you know.
Yes.
It's so simple now to do things. You don't need that help anymore, you know. You can learn a lot of things, to do a lot of things in the internet, just searching.
To develop an app in the beginning of apps, it was like, oh, I have to get a team of developers to do that.
Yes.
Now I have created some apps, because all I have to do is create a website in our website creator. Now I found out I can do that on Canva, but I used to do that on Bubble, which is a place where you can develop websites and apps. And then you get a link, and you go to another website called AppGeyser that allows you to create an app that actually opens that website. So it just opens the website, and then it gives you an APK file for Android. You can also publish it on the Play stores and Apple Store, and you can sell it.
And you can solve your problem. So simple. You don't need to pay a person to do it and wait until he do it.
So has it, Otto, like, since you are in this, actually Danilo and Otto, since you are in the development and design fields, has it helped or hindered your fields, this popularization of design and development tools?
I would say that it have helped. In my case, for example, I used to help some clients to design posts to social media, and that was a thing that we end up like getting out of our portfolio before like this kind of apps popularized. There was a lot of people like for but it was not profitable anymore. So I would say it helped us a lot. It made us make this decision of focus on some complicated things that the demand is like a bit rare around here. I would.
Well, Otto fell. He was struggling. We lost
His
Otto.
connection not good today.
I'm so sorry, but I think I have to go now.
Already? Okay,
You're calling.
Yeah.
let's take a picture before we go.
Okay.
Let's just get a screenshot.
Otto is.
Otto. Wow. Over.
Yeah. We're gonna take photo at the same size of.
Yeah, let's all do this.
I think he's
Don't be like
trying
Otto,
to be
okay?
upside down
That's
to
good,
so
okay.
that, like,
Let's all take a picture later.
I can do it.
Okay, I'm gonna do it too. too.
Sorry.
Wait, how do you do that? Wait. Well, now, Otto, you're normal. You have to be abnormal.
Oh my God, Otto.
Doing this for you.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
let's take a regular one. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Otto, you're not ready. Wait. Because maybe have a little delay. Okay, Otto's ready. Everyone's ready. Go. Perfect.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot for coming. It was great to meet you. And you're going to be joining our community, right? On WhatsApp.
Yes.
And we can talk later and have you over more times. And then practice Portuguese one day.
Yeah. It's so fun to meet you all. Your English is really good. So
Oh my God.
congrats.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Well, have a good night.
Have a good night.
Hello.
Have a good night.
See you.
Until
No,
next
it's
time.
day.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8 and it's 9 a.m. for her now. So let me just comment on some words real quick. But wait, Otto was talking. Otto, you said that in the beginning of your company, you used to be focused on creating posts for social media. But then when that got popular and people started doing that themselves, and maybe less prepared designers could focus on that, you could focus on more complex things, right? So can you tell me what these complex things are?
Exactly. Well, it turns out that the overall strategy, communication strategy, and also some complex technological stuff, the client can't get it really easily. So we focus on that. We focus on building websites with some kind of systems integrated, and also we focus on strategy like branding and the communication plan for social media and also for offline communication in general. So that was our decision when the market started to get crowded and some pieces of design could be made by the own client. So for example, you can create your post, but what you post will talk about, or what piece of message it will be carrying. And we saw that like hiring a photographer or a copywriter is something that's really easy to the client nowadays. But knowing what to do with the brand in general is not a thing that everyone knows how to do properly. And sometimes when they try for a long time, they start following like this plan, this strategy overall. So it's like, for example, you're doing a website right now. So it costs a lot of time for you to build this website. There is also this complication while trying to build the website. And for sure, when you have less time than you have now, and you want something more reliable, we'll say, you will easily go for someone who can help you with that. So the same happens with communication. So you know how to take photos with your cell phone, you know how to create a post on Canva, but some entrepreneurs, they need what comes before that. They need the strategy. And that's not something that you can, for example, really do by yourself if you're not like a pro, like you are, Gustavo, for example. You study everything. So to you, it comes easy, but for some entrepreneurs, it doesn't come easy at all.
And actually, it helps the designer because I created this thing. It's a prototype. It's a working prototype. And they can just look at it and copy it in the right way, like doing it and developing and doing the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
And since we are taking more risks nowadays and actually taking our own pictures with our phones and trying to create our own content on the internet, the designer or the brand analyst can take a look at that, see your history, see what kind of language you have, what kind of content you create. And from that, from your data, from your behavior, drive your next steps, right? So you're helping professionals their work. Interesting.
Yeah, the same can be said about, for example, the same can be said about communication and strategy and business. For example, we are helping a company right now that has 20 years, that have been like, I would say, selling the product in our market for about 20 years. And yes, they have a lot of clients. So, but they are a bit lost. Like, what are the business about? Is about decoration or the remodeling your home? Is about selling textiles? What is that we do? We know that we sell a lot, but what comes? Most of the clients come to us and how they think of the brand. So what we do in this case, we are doing a diagnose. So we are interviewing some clients. We are interviewing some architects. There are like clients, architects and clients of the architects. So the end client we are interviewing too, and we have collected a lot of data. It's like a team of 4 professionals working on that project with us, and the findings have been really, really great to us and to the brand too. And that will lead us, will help us to design a value proposition for the business, and also to help them to better communicate their business once we establish what is that the brand stands for. So in a lot of ways, like having some, I would say, history, having done something in the market, having put something out, having time to communicate, helps us to go evolve the communication, evolve the website, evolve the map and stuff.
I see. Okay, you froze for a second, but we understood. Annie, you want to hear your voice? You're barely speaking. That's out of your field, but do you have any comments on that? Like, is there any kind of popularization of chemistry? Or maybe you have to talk about that.
First, I didn't know all of this. It's new to me, this kind of develop a website and app. But I think really interesting. And I tried once to develop a site because I was organizing a congress at university, and we needed a site for the people subscribe and
Yes.
but yeah, and we used at the time I don't know if I remember even
Event 3?
yeah exactly yeah, and so we did it there, and it's easy because we had an interface.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can put the information there, and yeah, but it's nice to know these new things. And about chemistry, I don't know if there is I know some process that the people did and do in the home, like soap.
Soap? Yeah.
Yeah, soap, and it's very common in the countryside. We see a lot of people selling the products that they do at home, and it's actually a simple reaction. But yeah, it is the more complicated things. I think it is necessary to use a reactor and controlling the parameters of the process.
I see.
I think people nowadays are doing beers, and this is
Yeah,
amazing.
you gotta do like artisanal beer.
Oh, this is chemistry at all. And I
Yeah,
think this is amazing. I make a discipline in the university, and I make wine. It was an amazing thing, man. Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
I
that's
drink
the
all the
real
wine.
chemistry.
You just reminded me. I have a whole bottle here. Never opened. It's about time.
and it is hard to work with microorganisms.
Work
It's a
with what?
very complicated. Yeah, it's hard because
With what?
they die with microorganisms.
Oh,
To
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
to the beer and the wine. Sorry, the noise.
fermentation. They use fermentation.
Yeah, the fermentation is a complicated process because
Fermentation, yeah.
the microorganisms died with everything, temperature and pH, I think.
pH.
And yeah, and it's very hard to control these things. And yeah.
And interesting, like Google and YouTube really helped us do more chemistry at home, right? Like you can find out how to do things on your own. And I believe the most common way of using chemistry at home would be cooking. Like, because we see recipes and we see the sequence of when to add ingredients. I actually have a friend here. He's a baker, and he told me about this sequence in which he has to add the ingredients to make different kinds of pasta or different kinds of base for sweets. For example, he mentioned gluten. Gluten is the protein, right? And this protein is formed of amino acids, shortly, and like any protein. And in the wheat, the amino acid is spread. When you add water, you allow the amino acids to connect to each other and create gluten. This is why when you make bread, this is what you want. You want gluten to show up. So you add water first, and then you add anything else and other stuff. And then you move it, you push it, you kind of handle it. So more water gets in touch with more amino acids and more gluten is formed. However, there's another kind of pasta, I would say, called brisé, which means crackly. It breaks easily. It's the opposite of bread. The bread is supposed to be sticky and connected to each other, and then this other one is not supposed to be. So you shouldn't add water first. You should add butter first, because butter isolates the amino acids, and then it doesn't allow them to connect. That's beautiful. How chemistry is everywhere, and even in baking. And then you shouldn't mix it a lot. You just mix the butter and then you stop touching it, because if you mix it a lot, it's going to happen either way. So guys, where do you see chemistry in your lives now that you wouldn't see some years ago?
I would say brilliant.
Vanessa, go on.
I was going, no, Otto, go ahead.
I would say coffee. Coffee is something we do that looks like a chemistry equation sometimes, like depending on the kind of coffee you're brewing, and like the the brew rate is something that we have to keep in mind when brewing coffee, and also the different process we can apply to. So let's say in a daily basis, sometimes I perform some chemical formulas around here.
Nice. Yeah, you do. Like, yeah, there's it's a solution, right? To start with, and it involves temperature. So there's infusion, and it involves proportions, like every solution, and yeah, it's pure chemistry, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say like everything about eating, like making a coffee. Yeah. In my daily life, that's what I do, making a coffee and like cooking as well. I like to cook. I don't like to cook so much, but I like to cook special things especially when I'm stressed, and then when I'm cooking, there is a lot of chemistry. I just don't realize. I don't stop to pay attention. Oh, this is a lot of chemistry. I'm very methodic about following all the steps of cooking. I don't like to change anything. I like cooking and no, it has to be this amount and this amount. And I think, yeah, I think the way how the things taste has chemistry as well. And I think everything, and when we even when we take a medicine, the way how it reacts in our body.
Yes, indeed.
Mm.
Yeah, like in manipulation, pharmacals, right, are also some kind of a popularized chemistry. Because do you have to be a chemist to do that, Annie?
No, actually, you could be I don't know what to say, for
Pharmacist?
pharmacist.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or
and
pharmacologist?
pharmacologist. Yeah, and because they study that kind of specific reactions to with medicines, But yeah, the chemistries could do it as well because they have the knowledge
Yeah.
to
It would be a nice
separate
business
the.
if like a highly graduated chemist would do these things that we do in a daily basis, or that we don't study much for, and then they were like baking by a chemist, like, even though it's obviously within the chemistry field, you don't see
Yeah,
chemists.
that's really nice.
It'd be a great brand. Look at that, Annie. So you can, if you want to make some money from peanuts, you can start a baking company. It can be the basis of your communication, like a chemist that bakes. Like, baking done by who is supposed to do it. Like,
I can bake cakes.
That's
I can be a partner. I can bake cakes.
do you like cooking, Annie?
Yeah,
So
I do
really like people develop their businesses. So if you need help with that, I'm sure it'll be a
Yeah.
killer brand.
It could be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so let me comment on some words real quick. There we go.
It doesn't have to be tasteful. You just
Yes.
follow a formula.
Yeah, it doesn't have to taste good.
It can be your excuse.
Hey, it's biochemist, okay? Like it can it can
Yeah.
be both the things.
It doesn't taste good.
Sorry.
People can say it doesn't taste good, but you're gonna respond then by saying, yeah, but I follow the formula. That's the point.
I follow the formula. Nice. And that wow, this is a part of the brand as well. Instead of calling a recipe,
Yeah.
call it formula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely buy these cakes. What else could she say? What is it within the lingo of chemistry, Ani?
Sorry?
Formula, solution. You could use like the objects, the lab objects, maybe to cook. Instead of a stove, you can have those little fire things. I don't know if it would work.
Yeah.
Okay, but we can think
To
about this.
add it,
The what? Sorry.
to add the proper the right volume, you know,
Yes.
because we have instrument to that can infer the is exactly volume.
Yeah, look at that. It would be very exact. And I like the fact that, like, if it didn't
And the
taste
weight
good, it would
too.
be even funnier. Pardon, Danilo?
The weight too. They can get
Yeah,
the right
the
weight
exact
of the
weight.
thing. They
Wow.
have this different balance that
Scale,
it's
right?
more precise.
It's a scale.
Yeah.
It's got a scale. Okay. Balance is like equilibrium.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
The object to measure weight is called scale.
Oh, fine.
But not only. Scale can also be like the scales of a fish. Like that. Those big,
Scale can be like the difference of size of things.
yes, it can be like
Scale.
a pen for scale. Like, how big is this table? Oh, here's a picture, and there's a pen for scale. Pen for scale. It means for reference, right, of size. And also like this dragon scale or fish scale, like
Oh, fine.
the protections of the fish and dragon. Those little pieces of skin, you know.
Yeah.
Understand? Like when you buy a fish and you have to gut it, usually use a knife to remove the scales before you cook it.
Yeah.
Also, there's a music scale. Wow, it scales some.
Oh, yeah. Music
Yeah,
scale.
like do, re, mi, so 8.
Scale is have a
Yes,
lot of meanings.
It's a multiple meaning word. Scale. Anything else?
Mm.
Yeah. To augment something. It derives from the science thing, but like scalable in a scalable business, like something that's ready to grow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But
like,
but it's scalable, but it's basically almost the same meaning of the painful scale, don't know? Because scalable is something
the
that
derived meaning in that area. Yeah. The same. So Kayla mentioned daylight savings time. DST. Awful. Awful abbreviation. Don't abbreviate it ever. Daylight savings.
DST.
Don't abbreviate it. Daylight savings
But in
time.
English, DST has another meaning, has another way of being said. Yeah.
Yes.
PTSD.
Yes, it's STD. Yes, STD is like sexually transmitted diseases, but also save the date, which is weird. Daylight savings time is that part of the year in which some parts of a huge country changes their time zone to get more daylight in the day, more productive hours, more productive sunlit hours in the day. Hookup. Now, this morning, Vanessa mentioned hookup as like someone you go out with. But now I want to use a verb. Of course, you can hook up with someone. However, you can hook someone up, which is different. To hook someone up means to get something to someone. For example, if Otto was talking about coffee and I say, hey, can you hook me up? It means, can you get me some coffee?
Oh, okay.
Great, right? Crazy.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like, and if, for example, if I show interest in the coffee he's talking about, he can also say, oh, I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up. I mean, I will get you some. Well, I will teach you how to get it. Okay. I'll hook you up.
It reminds me of queue you up.
Kill?
Queue like the line when you are in a line. Like queue up.
Oh, queue up.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the only word in English in which you only pronounce the first letter. Q. Yeah. Q.
That looks like the Maranhense expression.
Okay. Now we learned something about the academic system in Australia. I asked Kayla.
Honor.
So they have honors, which is like a
I
2 year
didn't know this.
in which you write a
Yeah.
thesis. And you
Mm.
have postgrad, which is a course in which you become a specialist. Kinda. And I have masters and doctors as everywhere else. Danilo, the past of take, actually not, sorry. Yeah, the past of take is took, and this is the verb we use to talk about courses. I took a course.
Okay.
You don't say I made a course. When you make a course, you create the course. Like you are the teacher. Okay. When you take a course, you are the student. So I took a
Because
course.
we confuse, because in Portuguese we say that we are going to do a course, to make a course.
So I took an English course, or I took a course in, okay, or I, sorry, on, right, on. Took a course on branding. Or,
You can also say I studied
yes,
this course.
I studied the course.
Yeah.
Yes. But also you can say I took something, and I have to say course. So I took English back in school.
English classes.
Yeah, you can say English classes, but you can say only this too. I took English. Pronunciation here, signature.
Signature.
However,
Sign.
Sign.
sign. So this is why it can get confusing. This is sign, but this is signature. Okay.
Signature.
Side nature.
Pardon me.
I was just kidding.
Sign what?
Side nature.
Sign. Signature. The stressed syllable here, guys. Developer. Okay.
Developer.
Not developer. Developer. And diagnosis.
Diagnosis.
Now diagnosis as the noun. Gnosis. And to diagnose as the verb. Okay.
Diagnose.
You also have diagnostics, which I believe is kind of a group of diagnoses. Let me make sure.
Diagnostics.
What is diagnostics? Diagnostics.
A kind of agnostic.
Yeah. Like two agnostics are diagnostics.
Yes.
Okay, wait. Diagnostic is a distinctive symptom or characteristic. A program or routine that helps a user to identify errors. So it's used both in computing and in medicine.
Oh.
Also, it's the practice or techniques of diagnosis. So advanced medical diagnostics. So it's the field of diagnostics. Diagnosis is like your conclusion of someone's symptoms, basically. Diagnostics is the field, and to diagnose is the verb. So have in mind that here pronounced diagnosis, and here diagnose with a z sound.
Diagnosis. Diagnose.
Diagnosis. Diagnose.
Yes. And we have Okay, I want to talk about this word. We use this a lot to refer to non-capital cities. However, this word is exclusively used for the rural area. So if you mention a city that's not a capital, but it's a city, it's a big city, you don't call it countryside, okay? You call it a city or in this city, okay? So when you say countryside, you mean rural. Rural area. And all in the country. Another way to say this is in the country. So back in the country, or when I lived in the country, you know. It depending on the context, of course, it can sound like you are talking about a different country, but in context, you will understand that you mean the rural area. Okay.
Okay.
And craft beer. Craft beer is what people have been doing in their backyards. Vanessa, do you like craft beer?
Yes.
So like
Okay.
beer is our sub coffee. I don't know, like
Yeah, after coffee, we
yes,
have a beer.
You guys know already. All of you know about infusion and confusion, right? And you're not promoting confusion yet.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Why? It's so good. It's the best part.
But Cassia, you know the guest from the last month meeting.
Yes.
She invited me to a confusion.
Oh, nice. Look at that. This time you
Yeah.
invite her.
Yeah.
Like things around.
Yeah.
And okay, these were my comments. I'll be sending these to WhatsApp so you can review them. Okay.
Okay.
So guys, almost 8. Any questions? Any comments? It's really productive tonight. Like, I like it. Wait, we didn't even do the activity we did in the morning and afternoon, Vanessa. Create an invention.
I can share mine. I'm right here like painting.
You're doing it already?
I have a thing to say.
Yes.
I didn't say the most important the most important.
Oh my god.
I wanna say now that
please do.
The end of the end of the meeting.
Look, Annie has already made a cake. Don't even notice.
Didn't even know. I wanna eat as well. I'm hungry.
In real life.
Yeah.
And
so, Danilo, what's the best invention in the last 3 years for you?
I think the best invention and can be the worst too, at the same time, was artificial intelligence. You know,
artificial intelligence. Wow.
It can solve a lot of problems, but it can cause bigger problems too.
Tell me about
that. For example, you can use it for to medical diagnosis, for example, that you're talking about, and you can use it and it solve a lot of. It's more predictive in case of cancer, and that it's more right than humans. And for example, you can use it to drive cars and have less accidents in traffic accidents. And we can use it for a lot of things, but you can use to put in a war machine and destroy another place. You know, you can use it to identify specific people that you wanna kill, and you can use it for almost everything. You know, it's complicated because of it. You are not in an artificial intelligence world yet, but you're almost in that. You know, they use that, for example. One of the destructive things, it's the social medias. Do you know? They use a lot of that to remain you in that. A lot of time in the screen, so much more time in the screen. And they use psychology and use it with artificial intelligence. You know, the artificial intelligence learns how you gonna be the most time can possible in that social media. Then they started to understand you, and this is not so good, because they enter in an area that you sometimes lost the control. It's like you are gonna be controlled by the social media, and it's not good. But I think it's the most amazing because it's solving a lot of problems. But can be the worst too. It depends on how you're gonna use it.
It's a tool, right? Like any tool, you can use it for good or
Yes.
bad. And we, I remember now, Vanessa, that we were laughing at Diana this morning. That she mentioned that you can use a knife to cut a piece of meat or to kill someone. And,
Yeah.
and we were like, hey, like,
Hey, calm
calm
down.
Put the knife on the table, please.
and then she mentioned it like 3 times, and we were picking on her, saying that.
No, I'm very afraid of knives because, like, sometimes in my home, sometimes my mother or my grandma, especially my grandma, they like to be with a knife. They are cutting something, and they are talking to you, and they start to talk like this. No, you know, like, calm down.
My
I
grandmother.
I think it's very. You do that, honey?
yeah,
I think it's very dangerous. Like, I don't know. I had a training. I had a training
my
about
friend,
knives.
Mm.
How to walk with a knife. Always walk with a knife like this because in a crowded place, a lot of people are walking. You can hurt someone if you walk like this. If you walk like this.
And this is like a lot of people I know do it. This is I think so strange. I'm so afraid of it because people point to you with a knife. Like I said,
Yeah,
okay,
imagine
you-
someone is talking to you in the kitchen. Okay, it's your sister or your mother of the day. Like,
yeah. So I say no. I'm just giving my point, please. Don't.
Never disagree, never.
I'm going to the bathroom.
You know what? You're right. All this time, you're right. Completely.
Hey, Grandma, I'll eat the cake, okay? Like, chill.
no, and my grandma also, she has when she's eating, she's like, she takes the knife. The knife, for example, has some sauce or something like this, and she's like
She
putting in her
licked
mouth, and I'm like, you're gonna hurt yourself, please stop doing that. And she's like, you're so
Oh,
funny.
that thing that they
Do old people do that also?
take things with the knife and then they put it in the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah,
They pick
this is
the
dangerous.
thing with the knife. My parents do that all the time.
Yeah, for me, this is so dangerous, when, especially my grandma, because she's so distracted. When I see she's doing something like this, I'm like, stop doing
Wow.
that. Don't continue like this.
Crazy. And I forgot. Okay, artificial intelligence. Yes, like we even commented earlier today about Diana also commented. Diana is a new coffee club. You'd say hello to her later. And she said that there was this robot that was shut down because it got to the obvious conclusion that humans are not good to the planet and that they should be like extinguished. So maybe that's one of the dangers of artificial intelligence, right? They realize, okay, we are here to protect and serve, but are we supposed to protect and serve like these little beings that destroy everything, or the rest of them? You know, like how they're gonna make that decision?
But I have a problem with this when people say that they already find this kind of artificial intelligence, because the real artificial intelligence that exists now, they are only capable of recognize patterns. They didn't know how to make things like we are. We have this creativity thing. Very
Yes.
capable of go out of the patterns and do new things, and they didn't do it yet. They don't have this conscious think yet, you know. You have this conscious think that's capable of make you all creativity and this kind of thing. They didn't have that yet. They are capable of recognize patterns. Then how they gonna decide? I think the for example, in one time, I think was Microsoft, they put an artificial intelligence in the Twitter, and he started to be racist and all this kind of thing, but because he learned it with the people that are commenting with him. It's not because he learned it, not that they recognize the patterns of people are talking with him, and he said, okay, I'm gonna be the same way. You know, they are not choosing, they are not be thinking intelligently, you know, they not the conscious part, and people don't know that yet, and people creating hype in artificial intelligence like we already have this artificial intelligence, but no, we don't have yet, you know, it is that is capable of really think about the things. They don't have that yet. They know how to recognize patterns and from this pattern create new things, but he didn't know how to really extrapolate it, you know.
Yeah, there's a word for that, sentient. You know, being
Yes. Intuition, I think too. Don't have intuition, this kind of thing, because sometimes you create something for nothing, you know. You don't have any pattern at all, and you create something, and this is how almost anything is created, you know. The new things are created. You like how almost anything like the iPhone at all, you know. iPhone, when created iPhone, the idea of iPhone, extrapolate. He didn't follow the patterns of the they are in the epoch, I think. They didn't follow the patterns, you know. He didn't extrapolate it. He go to creativity and some ideas, and the artificial intelligence is not capable of do. I don't know. I don't see any of them that is capable of do it yet, you know.
I see. They can pretend they are, like they can look as they do, right? As if they did.
Yes, they can pretend that they are people, you know, because we are very practical. Normal people are very practical. You are not so amazing. We are not so
prejudicial.
We are not so, how to say it? We are not so different, you know. You think,
like we are patterns, yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of patterns.
We are predictable.
Like when you drive a car, you have a lot of patterns, you know, when driving a car, and you can make an artificial intelligence capable of drive because it's a lot of patterns. But you say, okay, you're gonna create a new product, do it in artificial intelligence. Then he have to think, he have to forget all the patterns and do something new. I think this doesn't exist yet, you know. I think this, I didn't know of something like that yet. I searched a lot and I didn't find that is capable about it.
I see. Yeah, this reminds me of how similar we are. I learned this with a guy called Darren Brown. He's a hypnotist, an illusionist, and he uses this. And there's this thing called cold reading, because we have this idea that we are the protagonist of the world, because we can only see the world from within ourselves. So we have this idea, okay, I'm different from anyone else. However, if you look at everyone at your same, at the same, mainly the same age range, you can predict. You can say many things that will be true to all of them, and we don't realize that because we're too focused on ourselves. And that reminds me that how predictable we are. You know, there's a whole. He made an experiment. He went to 5 countries. He asked people to put to draw a line around their hands on a piece of paper and put an object inside an envelope. He got this envelope out of the room. He came back hours later with a huge text, and he gave to each one thing that it would predict. It would say a lot of things about each one of them. And he did that with 5 people in 5 different countries, 3 different countries. And then each person went to a corner of the room, started reading it, and they started crying. Oh, that's so me. He guessed things I never told anyone. And and then he reveals that they're all the same text. Like we are so caught up in ourselves that we forget how similar we are. And machines are good at recognizing patterns, so they just read us and act like we do when we get like, oh no, he's such human. Like
It's like, do you know the most capable artificial intelligence of recognizing face is from China, and this is easy to know why, because almost any Chinese looks at each other, but
yes, like
they are slightly different for each other, you know. They are not so much, it's not like Brazilian. You get two Brazilian, you know that these two Brazilian are different.
Yeah, so different. Yeah.
In China, people are so much equal with each other. Then
So similar.
it's easier. They recognize this slight different patterns, then they are capable of recognize almost any pattern, you know, different when a different thing are capable of almost know. They have this system that works so well, but entering that thing because they use it not so well, you know. They use it to recognize people. Oh, I don't like that kind of people. The government don't like that guy. And it's not the very well use of this kind of technology, you know.
And you say Chinese are advanced in all areas.
Yes, Chinese
That's
it's gonna be in in the next years the most great country, you know.
They're gonna dominate the world.
Probably. We fall, and the United States is year after year losing because of the culture, you know. They believe that they are the most awesome people of the world. And
But Chinese people, if you give power to them, they will be horrible because they are so closed. Like they are in everywhere. First of all, they go, if you go to Canada, if you go to Australia, in here in Brazil, you see Chinese people, and they are so closed. It's interesting how they close their community. There, I know people in Australia, they were Chinese and they didn't know how to speak in English. They were like, I know people who were there for more than 2 years, more than 3 years, and they didn't know how to speak in English because they were working just in Chinese places. They were like just with Chinese people every time. They have their own community. Wherever they go, they are closing themselves in the community. They don't mix themselves.
No, the most amazing thing about China is because people say, oh, the problem in China is the communism, and people don't know how China gets in how they are now. They are in the place they are now because of the capitalism. They say, okay, how are we gonna win money? We're gonna work in the capitalism. Then we're gonna open some places in China and give to great business in the world, and they came to here and working here and give money to us. So
and it's very funny how they don't care. They go to other country and they make their products. Even they are not trying to adapt themselves to the culture of the country, and it is working, you know. Because I remember in Australia, whenever I was going to a Chinese place, they are so rude. They are very rude, and they don't care if you like, if you don't like, if you're buying, if you're not buying. They just like, do you want or not? It's something like this. You know,
in my country,
okay, you know, it's alive, it isn't there.
In my country, you are obligated to buy
it. Yeah.
Guys, I just found the speech. I have a note here. It's called a Fora speech. It's a huge text that describes most people, you know. And of course, then now that you know that, you wouldn't be as susceptible to accepting everything it says. But it goes like this in the beginning. You are a person prone to bouts of self-examination. First, do you understand what's prone? Prone to is with a tendency to have something.
Oh.
And bouts means like little peaks. So you are a person prone to bouts of self-examination. This is in sharp contrast to a striking ability you have developed to appear very socially engaged, even the life and the soul of the party, but in a way that only convinces others. You are all too aware of it being a facade. So it really, goes to deep human things, and it does these contrast things. It says that you are the life of the party, but it also says that it's a facade. So you will identify yourself with one of the sides of the statement. So it's a way that many people can identify with this kind of text.
It's like astrology, They use this technique to make people, they use what is most common, then they get the most common things, and you're gonna see you in that text, You're gonna read it, you're gonna say, okay, something from that, it's me. They use it, they get these patterns, and they are not precise, They are, if you read a lot, they are not, they say, okay, you are a little of that, but you got a little of that too, and they do it.
You mean horoscopes, right? Which like a text that represents the day of that sign. Also, we are not very good at describing ourselves. Self-definition is very hard. Like one of the hardest questions in the world is who are you? And then when someone else answers for you, you tend to fit into those boxes. Yeah, I'm this. Like, and then you're not even that completely, but then you accept that because it's easier to accept an external answer. Vanessa, you disagree with that? No? Well, you are into science and astrology, right?
Yeah.
So what part do you agree with?
About astrology, it's because I cannot say if it's right or wrong. We don't have any proof that it is right,
I see. So you're an agnostic of astrology.
Yeah, I just find interesting like how it met sometimes, but it doesn't have an explanation. Or at least for me, it doesn't have a logical explanation.
Oh, I know. And what I said was not about that they can't be right, It's they sometimes gonna be right. The problem is that they are not so directed, They try to assemble somewhat things from different point of views. Because if you wanted to say, I remember a history, I don't know, but sometimes when I remember people saying that, I don't know if you saw it in the Bible, have a part that say in the future is gonna be a big birds in the sky, and people say that it's some think about the plans, the air plan and everything, but it's so easy to do something like that too. One scientist, I don't remember the name of him, but he said years ago of the invention of the robot that you're gonna be machines that gonna be like humans, they did it just to say it's almost possible to predict everything, it's almost possible because in the future we have infinity possibilities. It's like how the name of that TV Simpsons, Simpsons basically every year people say, oh, Simpsons already said it, but Simpsons have 32 seasons, 32 seasons. They made almost everything that is possible to happen.
They just tried many possibilities. Yeah, that's true.
Try and error. Every year they try again.
It's a coincidence, For me, it's all coincidence.
Yeah. It's like a selective view of things, right? I want to find here something that resembles reality, and then they search the episodes and find something. Like it's easy to find something you want to find. And I'll be sending you this text, this forward speech, if you want to read it. Also, about that duality of statements, this is also used in reading people live, because it works especially in English. For example, if you say, Annie, you have a cat, don't you? You know, I'm saying two things at the same time. I'm saying that you have a cat, and that you don't have a cat. If you say, yes, I have a cat, I say, I thought so. You really look like you'd have a cat. And then you say, oh, I don't have a cat. Yeah, I thought so. And I said, don't you? You know, like, actually, it's even better than that. It's, you don't have a cat, do you? This is perfect. You are saying two things at the same time, you know, and you can use this kind of technique to have the person confirm things, and then they confirm, yeah, I have a cat, or I don't have a cat, and then you're always guessing right, and people love to be read, and love when other people talk about them. And as you guess more and more things right, or you think they are guessing right, you want to help. So you start facial expressions and your gestures and your words to tell information, like, oh, you have been injured in your knee when you were a child, and then yes, like you have a very small injury, like it wasn't a serious
Almost
injury.
anyone was.
Yes, anyone who was injured in the knee as a child, it was like universal almost. And then you say, yes, I have a huge injury in my because you want them to guess more and more, you know, and you start helping. It's crazy. Why are you laughing, Alto? Is that funny?
Yeah, that's funny. That's really funny.
I'm smiling from him and laughing. He's laughing, and I'm.
Okay, guys. So I believe we can wrap it up for today. Well, what a productive conversation we had after I was supposed to finish. That was
because you forget me.
Yeah, sorry, I won't forget you. And guys, like, be free to interrupt and say, hey, I have an opinion. Hey.
But I'm talking a lot in the middle. It's not about that, but not about other things.
So, like back when we met in person, I realized that when I went to the toilet by the end of the meeting, the dynamics changed because it wasn't centralized anymore. And then I went to the toilet, and you started talking to each other about different topics, each small group. You know, maybe I can try this someday. I'll go to the toilet and I leave, and when I come back, the guys become leaders of the conversation.
Toilet time.
Pardon me?
Sorry, toilet time, like the segment.
Story time.
You're gonna launch.
Yeah, I tell stories all the time, don't I?
No, I'm saying toilet.
Oh, toilet time. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Annie, if you are serious about creating your baking business, we can definitely help you. It's gonna be.
Okay, I will think about it.
I
Yes, I like
can
to
send you
meet.
my cards.
You don't think what? Think you want it?
Sorry?
You don't think you want it?
No, I think that there was.
Nice.
I just have to think about this cooking thing because it has to be good.
It doesn't.
No, it just
Because
has to follow
if they say,
the
oh, it's
formula.
terrible. What did you expect? I'm a chemist, not a baker.
And I'll tell you, I can send you my recipe. It is always good.
I'm selling the experience of a different food, not the taste of the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selling you, like you as a chemist, not the cake. Like the cake is just
I just want to show you how the cake can grow.
This is the beauty of branding, by the way, guys. It's not about the product, you know. It's about the idea and the concept and the person who creates it, you know. Because I mixed everything. You can
Make any cake.
bake a
Good
very,
cake and
very
bake.
regular cake that you'll find for 10 reais in the corner, you know. However, if you communicate in a way like I'm a chemist baking cakes, that now that's completely different. You can charge twice the price, you know, because people never gonna find that anywhere, you know.
Apple do it every year and
Yes,
wins
this
a
is
lot,
why people line
make
up.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Guys, I am so proud of myself because just because I know all of these techniques these people use, I'm not they can't catch me. I'm very good at saving money because they cannot catch me. I see that.
So you wouldn't buy Annie's cake.
No, I will try, but if I don't like the taste, your business is very nice, but it's not so good. If you want again, I can teach you. I can help you to improve the taste. I am like this. I no, I mean the experience that you provide to people is very important. But as a customer, if the thing is not good, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not, I mean, I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna
think
go back again.
it's the worst thing someone can talk about a business.
What?
Like you, a bakery, your value proposition is really good, but you bake.
Your baking is not good.
Bacon is terrible. Yeah.
But it will be because
Yes, it
I'm
will
a
be.
good cooker. Yeah.
You're a good cook. There you go.
Yes, yes.
I like your comment. I like the way you lie to yourself. I'm kidding. Yeah, like the basics should be good. Like it should be delicious, and it will be, I'm sure. And in branding, of course, Otto knows way more about that than me. There's something called esteem, which is your ability or your probability of forgiving a brand for a mistake or for poor quality. For example, if the iPhone breaks, I will buy another iPhone. Like an Apple fan will buy another iPhone, even though it broke, because it forgives the brand very easily. So if in the beginning you have awful cakes, people are going to buy again because they have esteem for you and your person. That's why it's important to connect to you, because you have history. Your brand doesn't. You know, your cake doesn't. It's the first cake you ever baked, but you have a lot more history than your cake. You know.
Yeah.
And McDonald's. When you try McDonald's burger, you realize it's awful, but then you come back because you forget that because it has such a huge.
No, I don't.
You know, like the
I
little
think-
duck.
Come back every week.
I don't eat McDonald's at all.
Yeah,
I think it depends like of the situation because McDonald's is very good when you are so hungry because they are fat. That's
Everything is so good.
the idea of McDonald's is that at the times when I ate McDonald's is because I was hungry and I didn't have time. I didn't want to wait. And I knew that my McDonald's would be like right there. Like I would just order and it would be right there with my hamburger.
Nice.
I would say that
burgers in
McDonald's
general,
doesn't
I
disappoint
hardly ever
you.
like them. Pardon me, Otto?
Sorry.
I was about to say that the good thing about McDonald's, it never disappoint you. It's bad all the time. So you go there, you know what to expect.
That's true.
Yes, like sometimes predictability is more important than the brand. You know?
Yes, exactly.
I ate it McDonald's one time, just one time in my entire
As a
life.
child, and you hated it.
No, wasn't. I think 4 years ago. I just say I'm gonna try that because I'm from the countryside, you know. Then I like to eat real food, you know. I don't like these industrialized things, you know. At all. I learned to eat this
But
food
they are better now.
in these
Are they?
last years, but I don't like yet
Yes.
so much. Then I don't eat that so much. I eat so just in specific days, like I'm the shopping mall and I decided to eat it, but I don't like McDonald's. I ate it one time and I don't like it all. I say I don't
You like Bob?
wanna give my money in it. Please.
Burger King.
I saw a entire, how to say it's a plate. I don't know. Entire a normal food, in
Yeah.
another restaurant in the shopping mall. Then I say I'm gonna eat now in here. Then people say all people go to shopping and eating the hamburgers, and I'm eating my normal food.
Yeah, your
in
dinner. Like,
Rice.
hey, 6.5
Oh,
time to
no.
have dinner. Like,
Yeah.
very
Yes,
conscious.
it's time to eat, man.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry now.
I'm hungry.
That's
I'm
down.
hungry.
I'm so hungry. We need to eat, please.
I still have to consume 1,875 calories today. I started to measure my
Oh,
You
calories.
have a
Check your
diet?
calories.
Yeah, I've been counting my calories with this app. It's very nice. It's my
Oh,
Fitness
amazing.
Pal.
What's
How
this
do you
app?
feel doing
Send to
that?
me.
My Fitness Pal.
How do you
I-
feel doing that? Counting your calories.
It's very straightforward because it has a list of food. Like, so I put boiled egg, and then shows me a list of kinds of boiled eggs, and I choose boiled egg. How many? 1 or 2, and then 2, and then it adds to my breakfast, and then
Okay.
it calculates. So did you exercise today? What did you do? Did you go walking for 30 minutes? And then I added 30 minutes, and then I gained 225 and 95 calories of credit today. And you have to be precise, because if you eat too little, your body's going to go, hey, don't lose weight because there's something going wrong, like something wrong here. He has to retain fat and energy because he's about to die, So I need to eat now to achieve my my mark of calories, so my body is okay. And then there's a deficit, and it can lose weight. It can be okay. Let's give in a bit, and then a little by little,
I have to gain weight. Then I need to have some strategy in it because I have, I think, eight, how to say it, 8 kilograms less than I had to have. I'm so.
What's your weight?
I have. It's 57. You
Wow.
don't know. I have to be at least 64. At least 64.
Who is Matthew Walter? Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are you are how do you say it?
Who is that?
Movie star.
Matthew.
American actor.
Oh,
He's
I don't know.
an actor. He's a Texan actor.
Yeah.
If you can try to copy his accent,
It's
it's very
like
nice.
the tone.
It's like,
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
Right.
I'm gonna search his accent and the next time.
That would be great if you do that. Lovely.
Yeah. Next time you will kill.
So I made my basic calculations. You consume about 1,140 calories a day. So you should consume more than that. Not a lot more, just 300 more.
I need to consume more.
Really? It's not 2,000?
It depends. It's 20 plus the kilos in men, and 15 times the kilos in women.
Oh, I need to
Rough calculation, of course.
first. This app is good because I can first know how many I'm eating. I started doing this diagnosis.
Mm.
Of course, I have already booked with a nutritionist next week, so don't trust only my judgment. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Still learning about it. Like, just started learning about it. Okay, guys. So I'm getting very hungry, and I have to eat 1,800 calories today. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and see you later.
I hope you too. See you later.
Okay.